Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to explore low APM Mirage. In recent months, many content creators have tried to create builds that are very simple to play because they require a very low amount of player input. Following this idea, I've tried to create a strong Mirage raid build that can function on less than 20 button presses per minute, excluding player movement and camera turning. For comparison, the current Axe Mirage Golem opener clocks in at more than 100 APM for the first 11 seconds. This is my submission to the Hardstack Accessibility Challenge. This challenge is trying to make the Guild Wars 2 PvE endgame more accessible to players with any kind of disability that impairs their gameplay in one way or another. The meta raid builds usually go for the highest damage version, even if it makes the class more difficult to play. These low-intensity builds try to get rid of most of the player input while sacrificing only minimal performance. Whether you should or should not use a low-intensity build is up to you. Personally, I don't think you should use it, if you are able to learn the full build. Low APM builds do not build up to a full rotation, nor is it their aim to do that, so they are not really good beginner builds. The gear. We use a superior sigil of Torment instead of a superior sigil of Energy, because there are no weapon swaps in the rotation. That would be too many actions per minute, and we're trying to stay below 20 actions. The rest of the gear is completely identical to the standard Axe Mirage build, full Vipers and Nightmare Runes. As for the traits, we use the traits for the Riddle Axe Mirage, which can also be found on snowcrows.com. One crucial variation we can make is run Renewing Oasis at essentially no loss to provide ourselves with permanent regeneration. For the Golem fight, we run Superiority Complex for the slight damage advantage it offers against real raid bosses, or if you ever decide to go for slightly more actions per minute, you should probably run Ineptitude. The core of the rotation is getting 3 axe-wielding clones out, and then have them out-attack the raid boss to death. We spawn those clones by pressing Phantasmal Duelist once and Lingering Thoughts twice. Having done that, we start auto-attacking the boss. Whenever we have endurance, and preferably not interrupting an auto-attack chain of our own, we press dodge roll to activate our empowered ambush auto-hit. Additionally, we can use our heal skill False Oasis and Crystal Sands to create mirrors on the ground. Picking up a mirror counts as a dodge roll, enabling another ambush attack. Because this isn't quite 20 actions per minute yet, we will also use Phantasmal Duelist off cooldown. This results in around 37,000 DPS. Here's a small trick. While standing outside the hitbox, ambush will not interrupt your auto-attack chain and allows you to proceed with the chain where you left off. Casting it inside the hitbox will end the auto-attack chain instead. So if you want to have a truly low intensity build where you don't even have to pay much attention, make sure you stand outside the boss hitbox while auto-attacking. Okay, but this isn't really everything Mirage has to offer. When presenting the gear, I also had a staff equipped. Here's how you use that staff. Do the opening as before. Pistol 4, Axe 2, Axe 2. Your damage is all set up now. Then swap to staff. Now just auto-attack and ambush, using False Oasis and Crystal Sands as before, for more ambush activations. But you will notice one thing. Whenever you ambush, the clones, which are Axe clones, are actually doing the Axe ambush, which is a lot stronger and less clunky than the staff ambush. This results in significantly higher DPS than staff clones could do, especially considering that the normal Axe auto-attacks are also really good. So Still, we get a lot lower DPS in total. So what's the advantage of the staff variant? Number one, the DPS is actually a bit higher than it looks, since this variant applies an average of around 17 confusion stacks. On bosses that attack a lot, the stealth variant can nearly catch up to the confusion-less axe variant. The second advantage, you are ranged, making it arguably easier to hit your target at some times. And the third advantage, you produce permanent 25 might and a bit more than 60% alacrity uptime for your subgroup. Together with another half alacrity provider, like another Stacks Mirage, alacrity would be covered for your subgroup. This can be useful in situations where you can coordinate with your team, when the actual alacrity provider is struggling, or when the main alacrity provider died early into the fight and you want to adapt. In that situation, you can just swap to the staff midway into the fight to provide a good amount of alacrity from then on forwards. While you can look at some gameplay I've gathered over the last couple of days, let me make some comments. Let's start with the positive. If you decide to increase the APM slightly, you can upgrade this build by also making use of your Axe 3 and even Pistol 5. The Axe build and low APM rotation is capable of performing at a solid level in average raid groups. I have raided with very good raiders, in pugs and in statics, and I was able to at least keep up with them in every fight, basically. One negative about the pure DPS variant is that you basically don't do any confusion. So, ironically, the low intensity Axe Mirage build will actually underperform on bosses where you'd expect Mirage to be good. I don't want to hype up this build too much. The ramp up of the DPS is extremely slow, since you do not have any form of burst which would come from shattering clones. More pressingly, this build teaches you very little about Mirage. It does not build into a proper Mirage even. There are better ways to teach Mirage than going down what is essentially a dead end. It is still a good lesson in the importance of auto-attack chains. However, I do not recommend this build if your aim is to become a good Mirage player in the end. Let us get to the elephant in the room. Good damage is not really about the build. If you find your DPS is lacking, it's not because you haven't found the right secret build yet. That's like thinking copying the top build from Meta Battle will carry you to Platinum in PvP. In reality, a Platinum player can do that on any build that makes some amount of sense. A good and easy build can certainly help you, but nothing will play itself. Dealing with mechanics efficiently, not going into downstate and continuously attacking while doing mechanics for a near 100% DPS uptime is extremely important for DPS. If you can't do these things on your, let's say, Conditioned Firebrand, then you will not magically be able to do it on Axe Mirage. Conditioned Firebrand isn't hard to play either. But maybe the final upside of this and other low intensity builds might be this. Since the rotation is very low APM, you have a lot more time to think about and anticipate boss mechanics. So maybe this build is right for you if you want to focus on really learning a boss. But in the end, it will not teach you much about Axe Mirage, unfortunately. As I said, I don't like to oversell builds. I feel like you deserve my honest opinion whether you should play this or not. And my answer, unless you're really physically limited how many buttons you can press, is no, you should not be playing this build. Or did I just say that? I meant to say this is the most epic easy mode raids 2022 build you have ever seen. You will do 37k DPS just auto-attacking while being unkillable in caps lock. And now let's insert some question marks followed by a grammatically unreasonable amount of exclamation marks. Okay, please share this build on Facebook or whatever. Thanks for watching.